We have Alphalete over here pumping things up with their brand new pump collection. That is right, we have a new one from Alphalete, never before seen. You know when Alphalete drops a new legging, it's a pretty big deal. It's a BFD. And speaking of BFD, this legging gives you a BFD. A big fat dump. I hope you guys are ready for today's video. We're gonna have some fun checking out these new Alphalete pieces that are dropping Saturday, the 28th of June. I believe they're 1 p.m. EST. Yes, I get them and Buff Bunny confused all the time, but it's 1 p.m. EST. And if you're thinking of grabbing some new Alphalete, but you wanna save some money for later, then all you gotta do when you check out is use my discount code Gaita. No gatekeeping. Let's see these colors up in here. So these are all colors we've seen before pretty much. Look at this, emerald green. Didn't you just drop a few months ago? We have ultraviolet, okay. Palace blue, we know her. Black, and I'm actually wearing acai berry. This looks similar to the color Candy Crush. I'll insert a picture. This one's obviously a bit darker though. So acai berry is pretty much its own unique color. So yeah, very familiar color palette. Could be a good thing. These were very hot shades. I mean, these are very unique. Each one has its own place. So what you've heard is true. The pump legging is called the pump legging for a reason. If you're looking for the plumpest dump on the planet on leg day, that's what these leggings will do. But of course, it doesn't always come with no flaws, right? Right. That is why we're here on this channel, to talk about everything you need to know about this new pump collection. So we're gonna be going over the leggings, the corresponding sports bra, and the shorts. So right now we're just doing the eyeball test and then we'll get into wearing it. Let's go ahead and see what the design of the new pump leggings look like. It is obviously seamless. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I stared. Okay, they went with that new logo. I see you. Right at the hip. But then they kept that traditional sewn-in logo right on the waistband. This waistband's looking awfully boxy, but yet it's still 3-tier. So that automatically tells me we're gonna have some serious compression. The front logo here is printed. It's like a heat-sealed logo, while the back is sewn in. I would have loved to seen a corresponding sewn-in logo. That's just me being picky-dicky, you know how I am. Now, this is where the magic happens. As you would imagine, we got a little dose of parachute booty. That's what I like to call it on this channel. So if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I say some pretty horrendous things, and I really hope that you stay because we have fun here. It's got a little parachute booty. In other words, a little extra thinner material around the glutes, just to help your glutes sink into the material, hence giving the plump dump effect. With the compressive waistband, and I don't know if you're noticing underneath, we do have a little bit of that compression at the under glutes as well. That's what's gonna help compress the under booty, compress the waist, and then the slack from the parachute booty just helps it just pop right on out. And of course it does come equipped with a scrunch as well. This is not like the Amplify scrunch. Check it out, it's a little bit wider. It's very sturdy. It's not quite stitched. It's a seamless stitch, has a little bit of ribbing, a little texture movement. It does stretch to a certain extent, more or less horizontally, not quite vertically, which is gonna help keep the integrity of the scrunch. Now, even though we have this parachute booty, do you see how little glute space you have? I think this is intentional. You see how low this waistband sits on the booty? It's kind of like sandwiching it in. I think they're going for that puckered look. And when I wear it, you will see exactly what I mean. We still have side contour going down the leg. I feel like they do this with every single one of their amplified leggings. They are doing that as well with these. Just a little bit of that breathable mesh type paneling, adding a little sportiness to the piece. Just a fair warning, this is not the fun part. You're not gonna have fun doing this. And if you do, then what kind of sadomasochist person are you? It's difficult to get on, at least for me. Now I stuck with my true size small, obviously because I didn't know what to expect from this collection, seeing as it's brand new. I said, you know what? I've been sizing up a lot lately, taking that risk with a lot of my previous videos, and I always regret it. So this time I'm not going to regret it. And I do regret it. I do regret it. I wish I sized up specifically in the bra. So this is their new Pump Sandy bra, it's called. And these are the pump leggings. I'm wearing the color emerald green. This is the most vibrant St. Patrick's Day green that you'll ever see in your life. Very similar to a color they just came out with in the past called Grove. Where the f is my Grove legging? Is this you? So the amplified contour legging in the color Grove. This new color is so much more juicy and vibrant. It is juicy fruit. So let me put you back. Let's start with the sports bra because I was so annoyed at this bra today. I actually took this set to the gym. I took the acai berry because that's one of my favorites. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the ultraviolet color. This one right here, this probably would have been my favorite, but they're only dropping in shorts. I went with my favorite in terms of the legging, and I gotta say the acai berry won my heart this time around. Close second would be emerald green. The bra is so small, dude. Let me just show you what the bra looks like. Like, when I took it out of the package, it looked like an extra small. And I thought to myself, I prayed that this would just stretch out. There's not a ton of stretch here. So as you can imagine, it's very, very tight. So my small, I 1000% wish I sized up to a medium. No exceptions. Now don't get it twisted, I love the style of this bra. You guys know I love my low profile bras. It shows a nice amount of cleavage but holds the girls in really nice. Cute little ruching. And if you actually look at the bra itself, unworn, it almost looks like a molded cup. So I just knew it would look flattering, and it does. But being that it's so snug, it's very uncomfortable and it's digging very badly right here. So while I was in the gym, I was just very uncomfortable. I was like, oh, stretching it around, moving it around. It does have adjustable straps here, but I wish there was an adjuster right here. I think if they added in this adjustment going right around here, so I mean, you could see from earlier, like the indentations. I think it would have really transformed this bra. These straps aren't too stretchy either, and they're very thick. It's like a bulky seam they went with. There's like a cluster where it's sewn together right at the adjustment piece, which also makes it very difficult to slide back and forth. I had to have Bae try and help me. I was like tugging at it. I was like, what is going on? It could be good so that it doesn't slide on you when you're working out, but I don't usually have that issue with bra sliding like that. I'd rather it be a little easier to adjust. It's very difficult to adjust. But what's nice is the fact that these straps come undone and you can crisscross them in the back. So I do like the versatility in the styling that they went with, but man, I just think the sizing's a little way off. I meant way off. You also do have padding in here that's removable, and this bulky seam down here, whoo, it's holding my girls up. I know what they were trying to do with this bulky seam. They were trying to keep this bra real low profile, okay? Very flattering, but yet supportive. So they went with a real bulky seam. But because the sizing is so tight, this bulky seam feels extra bulky, if you know what I mean. It's now digging, and it hurts. But on a happier note, this bra did hold up very, very well. When I was doing some overhead presses with the barbell at the gym, it literally doesn't budge. Doesn't move at all, probably because it's cutting off my circulation. Now let's talk the leggings. I know this is why you're here. Now the leggings, to me, I feel like they're a mixture between the new Revive and the Amplify, but they're so different than Amplify. So let's start with the waistband. Waistband sits low to mid on me. If you have a long torso, it'll probably sit a little on the lower side. There were times when I was working out where it was probably sitting right around here, comfortably, like after moving around. It is not a true high-waisted, that's for sure. This is moderate to high compression, similar to Amplify. Specifically the regular Amplify, not necessarily the Contour, although they're very similar. I'm gonna go ahead and say this seems just as compressive, if not a little bit more. The body of the legging, there's virtually no stretch here. I mean, it's very, very limited. Hence why I struggled to get them on, and it's thicker. It's not as thin as Amplify, which could be great for a lot of people. A big critique about the Amplify is that it's too thin. You feel like there's not enough support around the legs and the glutes. This will give you a hell of a lot more support. It is pretty moderate to high, more on the high side of support throughout the entire leg, specifically right here and down. That's where I feel most of the support. The parachute booty part, even though it seems a bit thinner, it's still very supportive. I don't really feel like I'm jiggling back there when walking and jogging. I feel like this is a nice glute aesthetic legging that you can actually do some higher intense workouts in without sacrificing support, you know? We love the Amplify, and it's nicely held up around the waist, but does it really hold up when doing running? Like, you just feel like you're jiggling around in that legging. This one's completely opposite. This one's gonna hold you in nicely. I can definitely feel where it puckers in right here. I can actually feel the scrunch as well. I know I'm gonna get questions like, can you feel this scrunch? Yes, it does feel similar to a patch scrunch, a stiff scrunch in other words. So when you're actually moving around and you're thinking about it, yes, I can feel it through my glutes. It's not to the point where it's uncomfortable. When I was actually squatting in these leggings, I did admire that plump dump it gave me. Puckers up the glutes, pushes down right here. It just gives you a nice glute sandwich. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's a glute sandwich. I feel like the meaning behind the legging pump, this really does do that. It gives you an elevated pumped look back here. However, when actually working out and squatting in them, I felt some restriction in some areas. You know, the scrunch, I feel like I wish it was a little more stretchy. I feel like this material doesn't move as well with my body as, say, the Amplify. The Amplify, I mean, the body of the legging, I feel like a free bird. Now, I will love these when doing my cardio, hell yeah. But when I'm squatting and actually lifting weights, I prefer my Amplify. You know, that's just me, you know, sizing up if in between. I'm almost on the verge of trying a size up. Just afraid of this material getting a little wrinkly though. I have a feeling this material would do that if you size up too much. Right now it's fine. It is a bit long, couple inches. I tried shimming it up. It does not smooth out nicely around the groin like the Amplify does, so don't even try to do that. And it is thicker than the Amplify. Like this material has a bit more of that durable texture. I will hand it to them. This is a durable gym fabric. That's for sure. This is a rubbing up dumbbells. You're good. You're not gonna think twice on this fabric. Amplify can be a little softy sometimes, where you're like, ooh, I'm afraid to get buck wild with it at the gym because I might pill or something like that. I might tear a little bit. No, with these, it's definitely got that more rough and tough gym fabric feel. However, with that comes a little more insulation. This legging's not as breathable as Amplify. I felt it at the gym. I don't know what the hell it is about my gym that I go to. I started going to a public gym because my home gym is just, it's riddled with spiders right now. It's riddled. They own it. I don't own that gym anymore. That's not even my stuff. I don't own the equipment. I don't own nothing in that gym anymore. The spiders took it over and it's now their home. But there's nothing you could do. It's summertime. It's 90 degrees outside and they moved in. So anyways, here I am going to a public gym. Not complaining, I really love it actually. But they keep it relatively warm in the gym, and boy was I sweating. These became a little uncomfortable for me, sweating too much. So if you're a heavy sweater and you really love that breathability that some leggings have, stick with the Amplify. One thing I have to praise them on though, okay? You guys know, when it comes to this under booty contour, and when everything is just so, like you have to have the under booty contour right here. You can't have it down here. That ain't gonna work. You gotta keep it right at the under glutes. What I love is it doesn't budge. So even when I'm working out and I'm bending and moving, it doesn't slide. Everything stays as it is. That is a big deal to me. I think this fabric is built for this type of style because there's some brands out there that do this similar style, but with real buttery, stretchy fabric. And you can't do that because when you're squatting, it's gonna slide down. And now this under booty contour is behind my kneecap and it doesn't work. Alphalete definitely did it right. Like they chose the material accordingly. Are you guys ready for the plot twist of a lifetime? Ooh. I'm wearing a size small in the top here and a medium in the tight fit shorts in the color ultraviolet. I felt right away when putting the ultraviolet on that this feels like a slightly different material than the other leggings. I'm starting to feel a little more amplified than anything here. Don't ask me why. I don't know, I'm just reviewing and giving you my feedback. Even so much so that this bra has a little bit more slack too, a little more stretch. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, so far it really is just in this color. Doesn't look as tight, as snug. I got it on a lot better. It's way more comfortable. Just has more slack, a little more stretch. Feels so much more comfortable right here, wow. Now, obviously the straps are adjusted differently, so they're a little looser. Not gonna mess with that right now. Just do keep in mind something about this bra. If you have a lot of side boob and you're doing any ab exercises or anything that requires you on your back, you might get a little side boob. There's not a whole lot of side boob coverage here. So the shorts, huh? I did size up because I do that with every single tight fit short. Glutes are still popping on out though. I gotta say, they do a great job with the glutes. Scrunch is a lot more comfortable, very much so, where it's like I barely feel it now. Waistband's also more comfortable. The tightest part of these shorts would be right around the thighs. It's still not horrible though. I've had worse. So a size up for me is definitely how I need to go, especially in these shorts. I'm thinking then maybe the leggings might be the same way. I'm not gonna go ahead and say that too confidently because I don't have a size up, but if it's anything like the shorts, I might like a size up better. There's zero roll with these. Very nice pair of shorts. If you're looking for some summer shorts, something that feels even a bit more breathable. Like I said, material feels slightly different here. Yeah, this is the kind of color I wanna see right now in my life. This looks like a summer starry night. And these are a solid 5 inches, so very, very comfortable length for me, not too short. Everything's looking good. So far, I'm actually liking the shorts more than the leggings. Who would have thought? Real tester, especially on this light color. How's the sweat test looking? Oh, damn, that's a lot of sweat. Okay. Damn. Concealing all that sweat right there. I'm not seeing anything poking through. Still a little wet though, damn. So it doesn't dry as fast as some activewear. It's not terrible, but just not as quickly. It doesn't wick as quickly. But holy crap, this light of a color, I did not see any sweat peeking through. It's always that give or take. It can never be perfect. It can never be sweat concealing and dries like a Bounty quicker picker upper towel. Can't be both at the same time. Because that would mean that the world is perfect, and we all know it's not. All right, we're checking out the black color, size small, size medium shorts this time. Not feeling quite as amplify-y in the black, so maybe it's just that ultraviolet color sneaking up on you, playing different. But this is feeling pretty much the same as the leggings. A little bit thicker, not as breathable, decent amount of stretch still, so it's still got that, but again, it is a size up. Black is kind of hot though, what do we think? I do feel the same amount of tightness in this bra, right around here. So it's an ultraviolet thing. Now in terms of squat proof, you're gonna see it is very similar to Amplify. The thing is with these new pieces, it's the same type of yarn fabric that they use for the Amplify. They are all pretty sheer. I did the sticker test because I couldn't even fathom after putting these pieces on and off. I'm exhausted. So to put on the black briefs would just been too much for me. So I just stuck with the sticker test this time around. Black are not bad though. Black, okay. So if sheerness is an issue, stick with the darker shades or just stick with the nude undie. That's all. Nude, seamless, thong, you're good. So if you were to stop me on the street and ask me personally if I'm going for the Amplify, the Revives, or the Pump, sticking with my Amplifies. I'm sticking with my Amplify, baby. I think it does depend on what I'm doing though. I will say that. I didn't have the best experience with the Revives. Just too tight, wasn't quite for me. Amplifies are my freaking bread and butter. Like, I love them so much. I wear them at least, if I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, I think about 3 days out of the week I'm wearing Amplify at least. I love them. I love them. I love them. But the Pump is its own unique thing. Glute aesthetic, 10 out of 10 for sure. But I don't feel like they're as comfortable as the Amplify, at least in my size smalls. Say I'm going to the gym just to get my cardio in. I might just go with the Pump because I like that extra support. I don't want to just feel like I'm jiggling for the whole gym to see. If I'm going for anything else, I would definitely stick with my Amplify. I just feel like they're overall more comfortable. But that is not to discredit the value of this collection. I know a lot of my gals who really love the Amplifies, they just prefer more support, okay? They're doing some more intense exercises that require more intense material makeup. And that is what the Pump will do for you. I think there's a time and a place for the Pump. I think a lot of you might really, really enjoy it if you're looking for something that has a little more structural quality to it, because it does. I think the overall construction of this legging really stood out. The quality, very, very top notch. I do think that if you're pretty bottom heavy, I feel like you might need a little more glute space, because you saw how low the waistband sat, where the under booty contour was. It kind of only gave about this much of glute space. So if you're real bottom heavy, your glutes might need a little more space to breathe and material to stretch out, then I would probably stick with Amplify. So definitely take what I said, weigh some pros, some cons, and let me know what you're thinking. Are you gonna shop this drop? Are you gonna pass? Is it for you? Is it not? Either way, please let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm really liking the direction they're going. For certain things, I will absolutely utilize this legging, but for right now, straight up favorite, I love my Amplifies. I'm not going anywhere with them. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It was nice chatting with you guys. I'll catch you next time in our next video.